Wednesday in the big city. It is New York City's racetrack, Aqueduct. Weather was perfect out here, and perfect weather. Big money up for grabs in the pick six, and it is all good as we get settled in on this live Wednesday edition of Aqueduct Insider. Jason Blewett, Richard Migliori alongside second floor clubhouse studios at the Big A. A good crowd on hand, and just a great deal of excitement in the air concerning today's big pick six.
Yeah, sure, huge pick six, but I just love the way the track looked today. It just had the perfect mixture of moisture, and yet it was a fast track, and you had that tobacco brown strip that Aqueduct's always, to me, been the safest surface of all the New York tracks.
Fast and firm, and looking ahead, the forecast looks perfect over the next few days, and we're happy about that. It may dip regarding the temperature, but no rain is in the forecast, and that's been a long time coming. I was talking with Andy on Talking Horses earlier today. It's amazing how many horses ran over the fall meet at Belmont Park that are coming out of one race after another run on muddy and sloppy tracks.
Yeah, and it would be nice just to have things fair again for them, and also to stay on the turf as long as we possibly can, because we're getting towards the end of turf season, but we might be able to get another 2-3 weeks in if the weather cooperates.
Speaking of turf, some breaking news went out earlier today. Jay Pridman of the Daily Racing Form breaking that California Chrome, who won 2/3 of the Triple Crown Series, will run on Saturday, November 29th in the Hollywood Derby at Del Mar.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting move. Do you think, Jason, this will help his cause for 3-year-old of the year if he was to win on the turf?
I think it's
so.
a case of what have you done for me lately? And clearly the second half of the year, the latter portion of the year, carries a lot of weight, more so than the early part in the Eclipse Award voting. And I think it's a case of this horse probably doing well. Art Sherman, a world-class horseman, and saying, you know what, the race is there. It's 3-year-old restricted. It's grade 1. Let's take a shot in basically our backyard.
Well, I assume they've worked him on the turf or going to work him on the turf. They'll get a feel for whether he actually likes it or not. And, you know, if you throw out his Pennsylvania Derby, which is a tough track to come back off of layoff on, he really hasn't done anything wrong this year.
Very good. And his Breeders' Cup Classic, it all culminated with the Classic. And I was on the fence, believe me. Had he finished way up the track, I would have said, well, yeah, you know what? He got good first half of the year, and I was right. But, no, he proved to me he's the real deal in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And it'll be neat on the day we run the Cigar Mile, and really the big day of Holiday Fest. We'll have the simulcast at Del Mar to check out with California Chrome. Speaking of Holiday Fest, the Cigar Mile, a treaties, and It's My Lucky Day are ready to throw down in that grade 1 stake worth at least $500,000. It's My Lucky Day out finishing Moreno in this picture in the Woodward.
Yeah, it really took it to Moreno this day in the Woodward. And I think this race made him regress in the Kelso. We know he's better than his Kelso run, but this was an out-and-out war with Moreno here, and maybe took more out of him than we had originally anticipated. I think the one-turn mile suits him to a T. I really like him there. In the treaties, he's undefeated around one turn. His only poor race was when he went to run the Indiana Derby, and he ran around 2 turns. I think he's going to get back to his strength as well.
He's the son of Medallion d'Or out of Dream Rush. He's trained by Marty Wolfson at treaties, and 5 3-year-olds since 2000, the latest of which, or last of which, was To Honor and Serve in 2011, have won the Cigar Mile. We stay with the 3-year-old division, but what about the fillies? Because $400,000 is up for grabs in the 3-year-old filly Comely Stakes, and Sweet Reason, who's got 3 grade 1s on her resume, she may try to stretch back out around 2 turns for Leah Giamatti.
Yeah, and I'm still not convinced that's her best go, although she did run very well in the Cotillion. Her 2 worst races of her life, in my estimation, were both her runs out at Santa Anita. Well, she's getting back to where she's most comfortable, and that's New York. She's got the New York state of mind, and if she can carry her speed, I guess I should say, for lack of a better term, that distance obviously should be tough.
Maybe she's best 7 to a mile around 1 turn, but she did finish a very good second against the bias from the quarter pole home down at Parks behind Untappable, who's a cinch to be 3-year-old filly champion, and it'll be pretty cool seeing Sweet Reason running here during Holiday Fest. And regarding the pick 6, today Aqueduct was chalk central. They put $997,000 plus in fresh money into the sequence. The pick 6 pool was a little over $1.2 million, and it paid a little over $1,800 on a sequence. You needed 4 favorites.
Wow, that is very chalky. But you know what I'm most impressed with is you said the other day on Monday evening that it would get over $1 million, and you were right. I mean, they pumped $997,000 into it with what was already there. So you said a pretty good line.
It's my first day at the office. I guessed right. What can I say? Let's get to today's card at the Big A. We ran 9. First race post was 12:20. As the MIG said, this was just a perfect November afternoon. We're heading to the main track. We've got Johnny I back, and John Abrial takes us through the running of our featured 5th race.
Ian running in second. Diker Beach down at the rail in third. American Progress on the outside, passed by Jeter. Knocker Off is the trailer. They head up the backstretch. Billy the Bull with the lead here. Big Guy Ian has moved to the outside of Billy the Bull. Billy the Bull by ahead. Big Guy Ian right there in second. And then it's Jeter, Knocker Off, and Diker Beach. American Progress is the trailer through an opening quarter mile in 23 seconds. They round the far turn. Billy the Bull with the narrow lead over Big Guy Ian. Jeter's on the outside of Knocker Off. Those two together, third and fourth. It's another 4 lengths to Diker Beach and American Progress, and they're coming for the quarter pole. Billy the Bull and Big Guy Ian, they come into the stretch as a team. Knocker Off is now gaining ground from third. Jeter is fourth. Big Guy Ian is the leader. Knocker Off takes second. Billy the Bull back in third, and Jeter at a 16th to the wire, and Big Guy Ian has drawn clear. Big Guy Ian wins by 3.5 lengths. Knocker Off was second, and
Round 2 in today's Pick 6 carryover went to a winning favorite in Big Guy Ian, who once Billy the Bull, the grade clear, Johnny V was able to get Big Guy Ian outside in that perfect stalking spot, and this guy by Birdstone did the rest.
And Johnny's just so good at that, getting his position going forward, putting his horses in position to win the race, and look at how strong he finishes. I mean, here's a guy who's been doing it for a very long time. Doesn't seem like he's lost any of his enthusiasm, that's for sure.
So neat, polished, and strong, Michael Dilger, and that was Johnny V, but Michael Dilger, a guy on the improve, a guy who's going places, another graduate of the Darley Flying Start program, and he's training for Anstu Stables, who seem like his biggest client.
Yeah, and you know, they've continually bred good horses and stepped out and bought good horses. Maybe not as active in the New York breeding program as they once were, but still a very active participant.
Paid $375,000 for Big Guy Ian, who was very dirtied up going into this race. One legit excuse after another. Now, we do have to contend with jockey Junior Alvarado, who fell off his mount post the finish line in today's 5th race aboard the runner-up Knocker Off. It sounds like Junior was actually taken to the hospital.
Yeah, he was taken to North Shore Hospital, getting checked out now as we speak, complaining of pain in his head and his back. So at least the good news is he was moving everything and talking to the EMTs. So hopefully it's nothing more than precaution, but we'll know a lot more tomorrow.
We hope he's okay as we get back to Belmont, or back to the Big A here, and back to this Pick 6. It's race number 6 on the turf. Could have fooled me. That course looks like Belmont Park in the middle of summer. Let's send it back upstairs to Johnny I.
and they're off. I Got Id, steadied shortly after the start, is at the back of the pack. There's Sun Worshipper out for the early lead. Hidden Vow, Compliance Officer, second and third. Balderdash runs in fourth. Sneaky Kittens on the outside in fifth. Status of Forces down at the rail in sixth. Half Wildcats in between horses in seventh. Then comes Genre and Blue Pigeon as the field races for the clubhouse turn. Sun Worshipper is the leader. Compliance Officer and Hidden Vow, they're together. Status of Forces races in fourth. On the outside is Balderdash in fifth. Genre in sixth. Sneaky Kitten moving up from the outside in seventh. Then at the rail, it's East of Danzig with Half Wildcat alongside. Blue Pigeon, I Got Id right together. Lord of Love is the trailer in 12th, and they're midway up the backstretch. Sun Worshipper leads here by almost a length. Status of Forces in second. Two long shots running 1-2 with Compliance Officer in third and Hidden Vow fourth. The quarter 25 seconds, the half mile in 51 and 1/5 seconds. Then it's Genre next in fifth. Almost 3 lengths to Sneaky Kitten in sixth, followed by Balderdash. On the outside, I Got Id is now moving up. Then comes Half Wildcat and Blue Pigeon, followed by Lord of Love and East of Danzig. And the field is coming for the head of the stretch. Still Sun Worshipper with the lead here as they come into the stretch. Sun Worshipper, Compliance Officer, is second and now right alongside. And on the outside, it's Genre. Compliance Officer, Genre, Sun Worshipper. It's Compliance Officer and Genre. Now it's between those two, Genre and Compliance Officer. Those two come down to the finish line, and it will be Genre to take it by a length. Compliance Officer was second. Sun Worshipper held third.
Chalk Parade has continued here on Insider as Genre was sent off as the 2-1 favorite. Gets it done. It is one Velasquez. Johnny V outside against another Velasquez with an S. Cornelio aboard the 5 Compliance Officer.
Yeah, Johnny Velasquez, all his ample skills on display once again for his natural double here. I just love the way he finishes. And this horse winning first time off the claim for Michael Dubb and Chad Brown. Michael Dubb, a guy who knows the horses. You got to go after the claim. Has just been so successful out of it. Compliance Officer had a perfect trip under Cornelio. He's just a horse that has a short run, and he waited as long as he could. Just came up second best.
Behind a horse who did have just a ton of run. You could tell when Johnny V, who was sitting towards the inside down the backstretch and at least into the far turn, which Genre said, now's the time, got him outside, and Genre was just picking off horses one by one and underscores, as you mentioned, A, how sharp Mike Dubb is claiming a turf horse this late in the season, and B, I think the powerful stable of Chad Brown who wins just with every kind of horse.
He just seems to excel with everything. Obviously, the turf has been something that it's so obvious he excels on, but really he wins with every kind of horse, whether it's 2-year-olds, old horses, sprinters, dirt, turf. Really a complete stable now.
We'll get Johnny V back in the mix along with Cornelio and a lot more on this Wednesday edition of Aqueduct Insider, the Chalk Parade. We'll have some short prices for you when we come back, so stay tuned on MSG+. Here at the Big A, going strong since the late 50s. I think opening day of the quote-unquote new Aqueduct was right around 1959. Some of the greats, the all-time greats of the North American turf, have raced here at Aqueduct Racetrack, and this is certainly a track that was home to you for many, many years. Does it have a special place in your heart?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Aqueduct was so good to me. And the fact that I'm the all-time leading rider at this track, it's kind of a nice thing to have that under your belt. And I think the nearest active guy to me is like 1,400 winners behind. So they got some work to do to catch me.
Who's the most, or at least the closest pursuant of you? Was it Ramon Dominguez?
No, well, Angel Cordero. Ramon was the when he was active,
right.
The active rider closest to me, but it was Angel Cordero in second. But I spent a lot of cold winters here, but it's always warm in the winner's circle.
And the weather continues to cooperate, or Mother Nature continues to cooperate. We stay with the state breds. I'm sitting next to a New York bred, the kid from Brooklyn. Let's get it back to another kid from Brooklyn. It's Johnny I with the call of race number 8, the co-feature on day number 12.
And they're off. Good to look from the extreme outside. There goes Sal the Freud now. And Riding on the Wall is up close. Riding on the Wall now takes the lead. Good to look, Sal the Freud. Heads apart second and third. And then it's Smoke'em's Charm in fourth. Leilani's Ticket on the outside. And Bluegrass Flash, the trailer, in sixth. The heavy favorite, Riding on the Wall, leads here by a length. The quarter win in 23 seconds. It's Riding on the Wall now by a length and a half over Good to Look. Sal the Freud is third. Leilani's Ticket on the outside. And at the back, the two grays, Smoke'em's Charm and Bluegrass Flash. Midway on the turn, Riding on the Wall, holding the lead over Good to Look. Riding on the Wall by a length. Good to Look in second. Then it's Leilani's Ticket in third. Sal the Freud is dropped back. They're at the top of the stretch, the half in 46 and 2/5 seconds. Riding on the Wall. Leilani's Ticket moves up on the outside. Riding on the Wall, trying to hold off Leilani's Ticket for another eighth of a mile. Riding on the Wall, little more than a length. Leilani's Ticket is all out in second. Then Bluegrass Flash moving into third. Riding on the Wall draws clear at the end. And it will be the 3-5 favorite, Riding on the Wall to win by 3. Leilani's Ticket a clear second. Bluegrass Flash was third.
Riding on the Wall, running for his 9th trainer, making career start number 56, and winning for the 18th time, gets it done at around 3-5 in today's 8th race.
9-year-old gelded son of E. Dubai, who just knows how to win and shows up every time. 18 victories now, 9 seconds, 6/3. You have to appreciate horses like this.
This was a good afternoon for the seniors. Compliance Officer, who's 8, was a good second behind Genre. Cherokee Artist, another 9-year-old who competed today, was second behind Glickman in a race we'll check out in a few moments. And it just will never get old. The backbone of the game, writing on the wall, who going back, broke his maiden May 2008, and in his fourth lifetime start was 40-1 behind Gio Ponte and Prussian in the Grade 3 Hill Prince in the summer of 2008 at Belmont.
Man, you did some research there. We are going back a ways there. But, you know, I always admire and appreciate these kind of horses. To me, these are the meat and potatoes horses of the game. They show up every single time. And when a horse is running at 9, it gives fans an opportunity to kind of latch on to them. It's always a good thing.
And still cranking out those 90 buyers like it's clockwork. Good stuff for Jimmy Riccio, Michelle Nevin, who has once again had a breakout season. We've got a few other races to talk about. We'll get you up to speed regarding what else shook out in this $1 million plus Pick 6 as we send it back to John Abrial.
Ziggy Moondust giving chase in second, then Full of Mine in third. Maracas tailed off in fourth, and there's an eighth of a mile to the finish. Imposing Figure trying to hold off Full of Mine and Ziggy Moondust. Imposing Figure still there. Full of Mine is second. They come for the wire, and it's Imposing Figure to take the opener at 4-5. Full of Mine, big long shot, was second to complete the exactas. The stretch, and it is Relentless Ride and Mambo at the Gym, and those two are heads apart. Day 6, Calanito towards the rail, battles on with an eighth of a mile to the finish. Mambo at the Gym, Day 6 on the outside, then Relentless Ride. Mambo at the Gym, Day 6 driving, Day 6, Mambo at the Gym. It's Day 6 to take it. Mambo at the Gym was second, and then Relentless Ride and Dividend. Glickman in front. Abra and Cherokee Artist giving chase, but Glickman's got a big lead here, less than 3/16 to the wire. Glickman by 6. Then Cherokee Artist, Abra, Broad Rule, and My Adonis. The 4-5 favorite Glickman will take them wire to wire. Never had an anxious moment. Glickman the winner, Cherokee Artist second, and it's a photo for third between Broad Rule and Abra. With the lead as they come into the lane. Call Will moving into second. Sonny and Pally is third and gaining ground towards the inside. Here comes Call Will. Now up to grab the lead from Spirit of Peace. Sonny and Pally continues to advance down at the rail. And here's Sonny and Pally to take the lead and win it. Sonny and Pally at 7-2 takes the first leg in today's pick. Getting on the extreme outside Until There Was You. The Wildcat Girl with a narrow lead over Little Gidding and Until There Was You, and Bridget Maloney is fourth. The Wildcat Girl has the lead as they come down for the 16th pole. Little Gidding in second. Until There Was You in third. It's the Wildcat Girl, and she's got it won by almost 3. Little Gidding held second. Until There Was You third as they head for home. It's no texting in front. Here comes Fulmer now up to challenge, and Fulmer now takes the lead. Memories of Peter gains into second. It is Fulmer in front with Memories of Peter in second. Fulmer has the lead. Memories of Peter giving chase. Fulmer in front, length and a half, 2 lengths, and Fulmer, despite the awkward start, gets the job done. Memories of Peter was second. Farther back, Gear Jammer.
The last piece in a little surprising Pick 6 puzzle. Second time out, Fulmer in the last race. Top Connections hanging around for the nightcap. Christophe Clement, second time out. Son of Giants Causeway. And look who's riding. Joel Rosario back. First day back off a 7-day suspension.
Off a 7-day suspension. And honestly, I think riders need to be freshened up here and there. I think they hit periods of time where they're maybe not as sharp or as fresh as they should be. And I think Joel is definitely needing a little bit of a break. He came back, put a good ride on Fulmer. And just as John Imbrial noted, even after that awkward start, second time in a row he had an awkward start. It'd be interesting to see if he gets over his gate woes, because he's obviously a talented horse.
And he's actually a half-brother to Blue Pigeon, who ran earlier in the day. In fact, was up the track behind Jonra on the opening leg of the Pick 4, race number 6. Kind of cool. I always like that, having half-brothers or sisters, half-siblings or full siblings running on the same card. It doesn't happen often, but it does make you smile.
Yeah, and especially if they both had success on the day. Well, Fulmer got it done. He carried the weight for the family.
All right, Christophe Clement in the last with Mr. Rosario as we check out the rider standings. And Cornelia Velasquez, we were talking, and he's your leading rider with 12 cards completed during this fall meet. What a ride getting it done with Sonny and Pally in the opening leg of the Pick 6, race 4.
Oh, just a terrific ride, and one of the reasons why he is so successful. Patient, strong finisher and fearless. Cornelio Velasquez, 5 in front for leading rider. A guy that shows up, does well every meet, doesn't lead the meet that often. It would be nice to see him get this done.
Now, David Jacobson is right at home. He's based at Aqueduct. He has won the fall meet twice in the past, and he is just racking up wins and credentials at Aqueduct. Another pair on the afternoon.
Yeah, running them off their feet. A guy who runs horses where they are always going to be competitive, and that's why you see those kind of gaudy numbers.
Even with Glickman, drop that horse down in race number 3. Horses odds on at around 3 to 5 or so, in for 40,000. Wins by the length of the stretch, and no takers. They could have had Glickman for 40 G's. They sat out race number 3 entirely, including Glickman, but we had a couple out of the 4th, and race 7 was pretty popular.
Very popular race at the claim box, race 7. We had a couple of shakes there. And actually, the winner was taken there by Drawing Away Stable, and kind of an interesting race, too. It looked like Irad Ortiz got hung up floating the horse out. Kind of forgot there was horses maybe to his inside.
Well, we won't forget there's horses coming up in this show because we take our final breather on MSG Plus. It's the Thursday preview. Some nice turf races, so stay tuned. The promise of a new day at New York City's racetrack. Originally standing on the old Brooklyn Waterworks, the Queens County Jockey Club opened this place up in the 1890s. It is over a century old. Studio's a lot newer, in fact. It's about 2 weeks old, but it looks pretty good, and we're delighted you're still with us. Jason Blewett, the MIG, is alongside. You set for a Thursday preview? Another big card?
Absolutely. I went through this, and interesting second race, the turf race. A couple of trips out of there the first time. We'll get into it.
Classic maiden race. Let's get right to it for the fall. Second race, as the MIG was saying, $60,000 purse. Melville is where we begin with a horse who moved up with a big move and a very fast pace.
Yeah, and he definitely middle moved and kind of got there and had every right to flatten out. I think Joe Bravo maybe was unfairly criticized. This horse was very green the first part of it, kind of jumping up and down. You know, as a rider, you want to get the horse's head in the game. You want to get him going. Then when they start running, you can't take it back from them at that point. It's not like driving a car. And I think he'll be much more clued into the proceedings. I think Melville will probably put himself in a better position this time.
The white-hot Chad Brown, red cap on the outside, Idiosyncratic making his second start off a layoff.
Yeah, and he was wide. He turned for home. Looked like he could still get it done. He kind of flattened out a little bit. Maybe he had every right to get a little tired. Certainly should be fitter. But I got to tell you, out of the two, Melville or him, I like Melville a little better.
I think Melville's coming out of the deeper maiden race. In fact, I don't even think it's debatable. I was not impressed with the group behind Sycamore Lane in the race we're looking at for the most part. Now, Bob Robato, Mark Keller, likable connections. Manny Franco as well with the Irish-bred Hoon, who's coming in off a very dry turf race. Look at all the dust they're kicking up at Churchill Downs.
Dust flying up there in late September. Looked like Hoon had dead aim, kind of maybe hung just a little bit first start in this country, and then he was privately purchased by Mark Keller and Bobby Robato. And I think he'll like a little give in the ground. I actually think he's going to enjoy the Aqueduct turf course more than he liked that dusty bowl there.
T-Sizzle, like the Saratoga turf course, ran well and has been consistent 4 seconds from 6 lifetime starts.
He has been consistent. I question his killer instinct. Anytime I see a horse with 4 seconds, and he's had opportunities. He's gotten right there like he had to win. He does get blinkers on. Maybe that'll help him break through, but he also has a tough post to contend with. All that's adding up to me to be kind of a underneath kind of play.
Couple of noteworthy firsters. One of them is the 1A Seagate, who's coupled with Melville. He's by Distorted Humor out of Cocoa Beach. He's a half to Imperia, who won the Pilgrim and had a trouble trip in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. And Ice Cutter, who they paid a lot for Christophe Camont.
Yeah, a lot of money there, $370,000 for his son of Medaglia d'Oro. Was training steadily on the turf up in Saratoga. Now he's been back down here at Belmont his last couple of works. You know he's got a lot of miles under him. I like when I see that consistent work tab. They don't have to be fast works, but I like when you see every 6-7 days consistently they work.
Feature race is a little bit later tomorrow than it was today. We did it at race 5. Tomorrow's race number 7. Party Now, unraced since the Wonder again back in the summertime at Belmont's coming off a layoff.
Yeah, coming off a layoff, and the Wonder again turned out to be a real good barometer of the Belmont Oaks, which was a terrific horse race, and I think this is quite a bit easier. It looks to me like there might be a little bit of other pace to contend with, but she doesn't necessarily need the lead. It looks like she does put herself right there.
And
though.
she is coupled in the wagering with Clocher. Johnny V is named on both, meaning one half will obviously scratch. Let's begin with Premium, or get on to Premium, and Little Journey, who faced each other on October 8th.
Yeah, and Premium can lay up close. I mean, she was on the lead in this particular race, but I think she's actually better from just off the pace, and she should sit a pretty good trip. It'll be interesting to see if Junior Alvarado will be aboard or not tomorrow. We'll find out how his condition is later on.
It's late in the turf season, but Chad Brown doesn't stop. High heel Kitten looking for 2 in a row. Perhaps has she turned the corner as a Kitten's Joy who's just gotten good late in her 3-year-old season?
Yeah, it sure seems like it. But boy, she got an absolutely perfect trip here under Jose Lezcano. I mean, he saved every inch of ground, came up. I think she's going to have to move forward to compete with some of these. I mean, she's a nice little filly, but it seems to me like this spot's a little bit deeper than what she faced last time.
Jose Lezcano post number 2. The dynamic duo of Chad Brown and Jose Lezcano for Klarovich, or I should say Ken Ramsey. Same red and white colors, but different silks all around with the homebred High Heel Kitten. And I'm sure Andy and Maggie have more to say than 4 winning favorites in today's Pick 6. They're going for prices. Let's send it on over.
It's nice to know with the good weather coming in that we will be on the turf all week here at Aqueduct, and that means we can get back to picking and betting on some turf horses. The 5th race on Thursday, 1 penny piece. 1 penny piece takes a subtle drop in class, more in company, has been running against much tougher horses, and last time out did not get the best of trips, getting shuffled out of good position in the race. And it was a race that was won in the front end by better horse, setting a slow pace. Well, this looks like the right spot for 1 penny piece, and I don't think she'll be that short a price. So in the 5th race on Thursday, let's try to get the money with the number 4, 1 penny piece, as we head out to Maggie.
Well, it's Paddock Insider time, and for Thursday's card, we're checking in with race number 2. That's number 8, Artie Crasher. Now, Artie Crasher, yes, is taking a step back up in company as he debuted in a maiden claimer, trying the maiden special weight ranks, a mile on the turf this time as he stretches out in distance. Now, this horse got away slowly, trailed the field throughout in that sprint, and flew home. I mean, he ran that last 8th in 11 seconds flat. And looking at him in the paddock, he was big, he was good looking, which indicates to me he might win a little more ground, being especially a son of Artie Schiller. And furthermore, I think with that race under his belt, he's going to be that much more fit. So Artie Crasher, your Paddock Insider for today. Jay, Meg?
Artie Crasher, the Party Crasher, what could be your 8 to 10 to 1 range. Second time out for David Cadizzo. Thanks much, Andy and Maggie. And have you recovered? We were dark here yesterday, but MSG Network's alive and well Tuesday night with that big 5-0 rout, Rangers versus Penguins. Have you recovered?
I loved it. I actually went to bed feeling very satisfied. How much fun was it to see them spank Sidney Crosby and the Penguins? I mean, he looked like he was going to cry leaving the ice, didn't he?
And they were looking, obviously, for 8 consecutive wins. We're on this monster winning streak. I think they had outscored their opponents 32-8 going into Tuesday night's game at MSG. And the Rangers played as a team and thankfully put the weekend, the lost weekend, if you will, against the Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers behind them. They play Colorado tomorrow night.
Yeah, good way to recover. Let's hope we keep it rolling. And then we got Pittsburgh again over the weekend.
Well, we've got some turf, we've got some dirt, and we've got 9 races for you tomorrow on the Thursday card here at the Big A. For the Mig and I, we can't thank you enough for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night right here on MSG+.